Hi, I'm Michael McDonough, and this is just a bit of a description on my blog, Who's Controlling Earth? So, the whole idea came around from the kind of concept that I think at times that people are getting too much access to the world and not knowing enough about possible outcomes or how to kind of stay safe. I go over about a piece from when I was younger and how we weren't allowed our first phones, first mobile phones, until we were around 12 years old, just because as I was growing up, my parents just believed the safest thing to do was keep us away from technology until we had a certain age. I also talk about when we used to game and play like the Game Boy and Sega Mega Drive, so on and so forth, that there was always limitations on it, something that's not really common now. And it was always a phrase that used to be heard of was go play outside or go outside, or more or less to send you out into the actual real world and get you used to this kind of style of life. But something that I found more common now is that it's more or less go watch TV, go play your games. And I find that people are becoming less adapted to the world and more adapted to an online world. See, I think there are very beneficial things about knowing and being able to decipher reality from technology. I think with the way the world is now, the younger generation, more or less, are becoming, how could I put it, more or less feeling immortal just because they're so used to playing games and seeing these people doing incredible feats online and not realizing that in the real world there are consequences for people's actions. I talk more about this in throughout my blog, going on to limitations and how these limitations should really take hold. And then I go on about tomorrow and more or less the future. Now things have kind of been leading towards this way of life. The main point that I'm trying to push across with my blog is just to keep the idea that you have to be able to separate the online world, even though I find it's amazing and it can do many great things, but also separate it from reality and realize that there are dangers in both points, that you should know about what real life is and what reality limitations are, and then what online is. You shouldn't fully commit yourself to more or less at the stage that we're at now, just one side of these things. I think it's something that we need to accept both, but still think of the safety in them. Thank you.